Three, two, one. Okay, welcome back to our daily market analysis. This is your review and update for 3 March 2021. We're going to go over what has happened in the past 24 hours and what we anticipate happening over the next 24 hours. All right, so to start it off, we will be going over GBP NZD. Javon pushed this trade out earlier today. He just issued the signal to exit with a plus 25 pips. So we're going to review what happened and what made that trade valid. Um, so starting off on the 4-hour chart, as you can see, we have our moon. TDI is up here, was outside of the top Bollinger Band. This It came back up to retest, poked above for a quick second, moving the moon, and then gave us our second leg up towards the top Bollinger Band, right? Moving to the 1-hour chart, this is the first leg, this is the second, right? So inside that second leg, like we've talked about before, was our M. Kind of hard to see here, but it's there. So this is our first leg right here, right? These set of bars, and this came back down, right? Came back up to retest. That second leg, again, right? They poked up, moving this star from where it was before here to here, but they respected the high on the second leg. As you can see, if you zoom in here, right, we use our crosshairs. See that bar? It closed underneath the first leg, right, underneath that wick. So it respected the high, um, and we took that for about 25 pips. So a solid day. Um, uh, I mean, we were able to do pretty well on that trade. Very happy with it. So we are expecting a retest tonight, and that is going to look like them coming from this low back up into here, pinning the EMAs. I anticipate, and then continuing their shift down. That is supported by the 50, the TDI being at the 50 EMA right here, this yellow line, right? My TDI is black, just a reminder, um, and the 50 EMA is this yellow line here. So it's at the 50, so we anticipate it coming back up to retest on the 15. Right, we're already at outside. TDI is already outside of the bottom Bollinger Band, right, and we have a green moon. So this further supports our bias of them coming up to retest before dropping. So we'll wait to see if that's how they behave. If they continue down, then it's just missed money, and missed money is not lost money. So that's okay. Okay, moving on to GBP USD. So yesterday, nothing really happened in GBP USD. Let's go ahead and zoom in here a little bit. All we got is a bunch of sideways movement, right? So they didn't actually do anything. All they did was consolidate, gathering contracts, both long and short, without any real movement. And this is shown because, as you can see right on this bar, right, they spiked up and closed down, right? And then they consolidated, continued the sideways movement. And on this bar, they spiked down and closed up, right? The exact opposite of what they did before. And then they continued to do that, right? Spiked up, closed down, spiked down, close up, close down, on and on, right? With no real movement. All they're doing is just getting people to commit their money, long and short, right? They just need people to initiate trades, tying up their money before they shift the market, and then as they're doing that, these wicks are stopping people out. They're just stopping out people up and down, right? While consolidating and gathering contracts, right? So they're building their money. That's all they're really doing. So I anticipate them to retest this low. I personally think that they're gonna go long. I think they're gonna retest and then continue up. Uh, that's my personal bias. I'm a little finicky on this pair right now because they are pinning the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart, and the 50 EMA on the TDI on the 4-hour chart. So, I mean, they could continue down, but I honestly don't anticipate them going too much farther down. And that's because of the 1-hour chart, right? As we go in to see what they're doing, right? They're never really shifted the zone high. TDI's outside of this Bollinger Band, right? And they're now starting to pin through these EMAs during the Asian session, working the zone. But we'll see how they behave. They'll issue us a signal once they tell it, and we'll be able to tell exactly which way they're going to go here over the next day or two. NU. NU is 100%, well, not 100%, but the directional bias for NU is definitely long. This is supported by Moon on the 4-hour chart, TDI being outside of the Bollinger Band initially. We got a bunch of wicks through the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart. So this directional bias right now is definitely long. Yesterday, they came back down to retest that low, coming through that 800 EMA on the 1-hour chart. They didn't violate this low. They gave us a star, right? TDI outside of the Bollinger Band. So I'm personally looking for one more retest because of how close they are to the 50 EMA. I think they're going to come back down one more time, pretty close to that 800 EMA, and then we'll be able to take that long. And how long we hold that will be dependent on how they behave once they start reaching this 50 EMA and once they start reaching this 200 EMA. That's really going to dictate how long we hold this. If they start blowing through the EMAs, we'll probably be able to hold it for a while, right? But if they're like kind of pushing up and kind of like small pushes towards these EMAs, I can imagine what I'm gonna probably look to close because it's not a strong movement, right? We want to see strong movement, just like here, right? Here we go. Here, right? They're blowing through these EMAs, right? It's not even like there's no resistance. There's like no hesitation, as they say. They're just going straight through them. You know what I mean? So that's what we look for if we're gonna hold it long for a long period of time. Okay. So EU, that's the next pair. So I did the same thing as NU, right? So yesterday they came back down, kind of retested this low. It's really a lazy W they got going on right here, but it is there. So we have our sun and we have a red moon followed by a star on the bottom end. So what I'm looking for them to do, come back down and retest. I don't think they're going to come much lower in that retest. They'll probably come down. I anticipate. Let me try to bring this up into here. I don't think they're going to come much lower than this range, right? Because uh, they're going to end up letting people out who are going short. So I don't think they're going to come much past this. That's where I'm at with it, but we'll see how they behave. But we are anticipating a retest, slight retest, and then a long. And just like with NU, how they behave around the 50 EMA, right, and the 200 EMA, and then again for EU, right, how they behave at the 800 EMA will really dictate how long we're going to be holding this trade. Um, Again, if they blow through it, we're going to hold. If they start to stutter step, and look like they're going to just move into some consolidation around the EMAs, we'll probably be looking for an exit. Uh, I wasn't going to go over it, but I'm going to do it anyways because I really like it. US 100. All right. We haven't touched the US 100 in a while. Um, that's really due to me forgetting it exists sometimes. That's really what it is because we don't trade it quite often. But it's okay. We have a buy opportunity coming up. So we're going to start with a full check down here because we haven't covered it this week. So at the day chart, right, we started off with our sun and we're now at a green moon. TDI is outside of the Bollinger Band on the day chart, right? So all good things. We get to move down to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, right? We got a sun on the 4 hour chart, and TDI is at the bottom Bollinger Band, right? Again, good things, all the stuff that we like to see. So I'm going to pull up the 1 hour chart. As of right now, we're only in first leg. Right now, we need to wait on second leg. TDI is still outside of the Bollinger Band again, right? So good things. If we get a good second leg on the US 100, and the check down is validated, we'll actually be looking. I'll be looking at trying to push that trade out. Um, so as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via direct message or the group chat on Discord, and we'll be glad to answer those questions. Outside of that, we'll be back tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, to give you the next update. Have a good night.